Hey everybody, Jeff James, retired Secret Service, coming to you with another Sunday safety tip. Before this week's tip, I want to say I hope that you had a happy and healthy 4th of July celebrating the birth of our great nation with your family and friends. Now, this week's tip, just to give you a little inside baseball, I usually plan ahead several weeks what my tips are going to be about, and that gives me a chance to do some research and things like that if I need to. But the other thing is that sometimes something will happen that will cause me to do an impromptu one, and this is based on something that happened to my wife and me this week. So my wife gives me a shout and she says, hey, I got an email from Citibank saying that there was fraud on our account. So I have her forward me the email and I look at it and a couple things strike me as unusual. First of all, that was sent to her, but it salutates me like you'll see in this screenshot. And I'm not sure, I look at the suffixes for the emails and they kind of look strange. So I look at our account and I see that there aren't any fraudulent charges. Any charges that we see as unusual. So do I call the number in the email and say to them, hey, I think there's fraud on my account? Absolutely not. I get my credit card and I call the number on the back of the credit card. And what do they tell me? Lo and behold, there is no fraud on our account. So we know this email was a spoof. They were trying to get me to call the number in the email because when I do that, they say to me, okay, Jeff James, what's your full name? What's your date of birth? What's your social? What's the password on your account? And now they have all the tools they need to access my credit card information, but not only that, but also tools that they could use to steal my identity. So if you ever get an email like this, I would recommend that you never call any numbers that are in the emails. Always call the number on the back of the credit card to verify it. The other reason I knew right away that this was strange was because we have set up with our credit card company that if they detect fraud, they don't just send an email, they also call us direct. And this has happened several times, so I know it's in play to do that. And it's very helpful. They call direct. They say, hey, we detected fraud on your account, some unusual charges. And sometimes it's legit. Like sometimes I'll buy something from overseas and they see an overseas charge and I can say, no, that's legitimate. And they say, okay, and it's fixed. But other times it's legitimate fraud. So that's something else you might want to consider setting up with your credit card company, that they will call you direct instead of just sending an email. But if you get an email like this, don't ever call the number in it. That number is going to go straight to the fraudsters if it's a spoofed email. But also look for the telltale signs, like if it's misaddressed to a person, again, the name in the email isn't correct, or the suffixes in the email addresses that it comes from look fishy. So that's it. I hope you thought this was helpful. If this is the first time you're seeing me, please feel free to follow and get all my Sunday safety tips. And if you're already following me, please know how much I appreciate it. And until I see you next week with another Sunday safety tip, everybody be safe out there.